What's up, Lindas? Today I'm going to be recapping the latest episode of Drag Race Brazil Season 2, Paper Cuts. Now that All Stars 10 is out the way, I can go back to the international seasons. The queens walk back into the workroom after the non-elimination premiere. Ruby Knox is feeling her oats as the very first Maxi Challenge winner of the season, but her fellow sisters call out the lip sync between herself and Melina Blay, because it was quite average. Meloshi is less in her feelings, but she's still very disappointed about not being in the top two. So were we all, girl. And just like France All Stars, the non elimination episodes are over. Somebody is going to go home first. At that moment, Drag Queen enters the workroom and announces the mini challenge for the week. The queens need to get into quick granny panty drag and have a dance off. Meloshi ends up winning, as she should. So for this week's Maxi Challenge, it's my personal favourite, a design challenge. But the twist is the queens can only use paper. This is hard. I don't have to be a designer to know creating with paper is tough. As the winner of the mini challenge, Meloshi gets first choice of the materials. And right away, we learn who is confident with arts and crafts and who isn't. For example, Adora Black says she's very comfortable with arts and crafts, and the edit was there. Chanel, on the other hand, really struggles with the sewing process. In fact, so many of the girls were stressed by this challenge, including Paula Hoffman Van Cartier, who breaks down knowing that if she's in the bottom, she's probably going to go home. Something that was really funny was during the walkthrough with Drag Queen, Poseidon Drag is told that her look is too Marie Antoinette, and I'm like, Michelle's influence. On Elimination Day, Chanel opens up about being fired from her job because she's a trans woman. That is just awful. Meloshi says that transphobia kills every single day and it is so brave to be trans, especially in Brazil. I am just so glad that Drag Race allows queens like Chanel and Meloshi to shine. So on the main stage this evening, we have Drag Queen. This is not one of my favorite looks of hers. I definitely preferred last week's. I feel like this look ages her a little bit, but anyway, it's fine. She's gorgeous. We also have Dudu Bertolini, Bruna Braga, and extra special guest judge Fontana. And you guys all know that Fontana is one of my favorite international queens. Category is Paper Queens, and I gave my top two to Adora Black. This is everyone's top two, right? Nobody needs an eye test, do they? Like, you're all seeing what I'm seeing. She made that, out of paper. Melina Blay, Ruby, Mercedes, and Paula are all made safe, which means the rest represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Did you see how relieved Paula looked? So it's time for the judges' critiques, and up first we have Belky. They loved how fashion-forward this was, they loved the silhouette, and the makeup that she paired with it. A very good night for Belky. Chanel is in the bottom for a much too simple look. Unfortunately, her winning personality couldn't save this one. Adora Black is undeniably in the top. Bruna says it's the best look of the night, and the construction is just perfect. Meloshi is told that her look needed polishing. It was very out of proportion, and as much as I love her, I could see the issues with it. They also weren't a fan of her makeup this week. Up next is Poseidon Drag. She gave a good performance, but they said the look is not up to standard. It was far too simple. Last but not least is Desiree Beck. They really liked the upcycling vibe to her look, and they said they felt her presence in the competition this evening. But back in Untucked, the rivalry between Desiree and Ruby is very much apparent, because Ruby doesn't hide the fact that she's shocked that Desiree is in the top this week. And the other girls continue to undermine Desiree as well, which I thought was a little bit unfair. Speaking of unfair, Meloshi is once again not happy with her placement, but I have to say this week, it is justified. Back on the main stage, Adora Black is named the winner. I mean, we all saw that coming, right? Meloshi Queen is saved, which means it's between Chanel and Poseidon Drag to battle it out. They lip-sync to Ultra Som by Pablo Vittar. This was a much better performance than last week. Poseidon was giving camp, Chanel was a lot flirtier in her performance. Poseidon ends up staying, however, and we say goodbye to Chanel. And I'm very heartbroken because she's one of my favorites in the cast. I love her a lot, and you could see how upset she was too. And this week, I've lost Magnetica and Chanel. So, I'm not coping, guys. Next week is another performance challenge. That's 2 in 3 episodes. My friends, what did you think of this week's episode of Drag Race Brazil Season 2? Do you agree with the judging choices? I think everything was correct this week. Give me all the tea and I'll be back very soon with another video.